Boy, when he thinks of this building, Chief, probably the first word that comes to mind is fireworks. Here's Jason Garrison shooting a save by Niemi. Rebound. He has to make a stop right there, and Andre Palat. Number 41, their 19-year-old defenseman, first rounder from 2013 out there with Brent Burns. Here's Alex Killorn centering in front. Callahan trying to jam it home, but Niemi stopped him right near the goal line. Game to Chicago and 3-1 in the game before that to the Dallas Stars. So they have not been quick starters in recent games. Here's a shot on goal by Tommy Wingels and a save by Ben Bishop.
And the interesting thing about that,
out of Union College, is the backup. He's yet to play in the NHL. Here's a shot by Marc-Edouard Vlasic. A try off the side of the goal there by Thomas Hertl. And the shot on goal right in front by Pavelski. Stopped by Bishop. On the cycle with Tomas Hertl. Marc-Edouard Vlasic, one of the better defenseman in the league. The pass to Pavelski. Bishop right there, and he's strong early again, Chief. Callahan with a check on Matt Nieto out of Boston University. He's a Long Beach, California native. Pass out to the point. Jason Demers winding, looking for an angle. Dangerous pass, but it reached its destination. Kucherov across for Palat. Pass back to Kucherov. Shoots. Saved by Niemi. Rebound deflects to Stralman. Carl. Now Palat with it, shooting, tipped. Kucherov backhands it, stopped by Niemi. Draws attention from a couple of Sharks. He'll chase his own dump in and challenge Jason Demers as Stamkos joins the play off the bench. Kennedy got it loose, couldn't get it out. Drew with a shot, and it's steered away by Niemi. Thanks very much, Paul. Yeah, Brian Bradley, Pat Jablonski, he's in the house. Any of the other originals? There's a save by Bishop on the backhand try by Pavelski. And now he's trying to look good with that half cage, half shield until things heal and he can go back to just wearing the helmet. Shot punched away by Niemi. Moving it up the boards. Gudas there. He'll throw it back to the corner. Scott Hannon after it. Hannon angles it through Garrison. Got it into Couture. He's onside. He shoots Bishop. A save. Rebound cleared by Gudas.
against the Hawks, and that's when he took off. He won 7 of the next 8.
He makes a save here and had traffic to deal with as McGinn was driving the net, and he does a great job at holding that play in for the Sharks. Knocked the puck out of the air, kept it on the line. Here is Mueller with a shot. Stop! And Bishop covers it up. Shrugs it off. Truman worked it free. And Burns back for the puck. Stamkos takes it. Fires in front. Nemesnikov a shot. A save by Niemi. Back of the point, Garrison. Rips one just wide.
Boy, he got all of that one, too.
Features.
Yeah.
Toyota power play chance for the Sharks, and Bishop tested right off the bat as Burns lets it go from long distance. Burns back to Pavelski. Here's Burns firing a save by Bishop. Rebound is that stopped by Bishop as he reached out side of the goal. Pavelski out of Burns. Pavelski feeding it. The shot by Marleau. Stopped by Bishop. Cleared by Carl.
The Sharks, they stood right up on the play and they didn't allow him to get in.
Wingels shoots a save by Bishop. Rebound fired over the net. Bishop got clobbered in the head. Here's Demers shooting, and Bishop makes the save without the stick. He scrambles to get it. Clay Goodrow, he's looking for help in the rush. Here comes Kennedy shooting. Bishop, another save. Knocked down. Shepard has it. Fires. Bishop, another save. 17 in this first period and counting with 2:13 to go. On the near boards, setting up far side. Stamkos drifting to the corner, gets the pass. Callahan, of course, parked in front. The shot, and it's deflected off Niemi and to the corner. He looked one way, the puck went the other. Nieto set to come out. Pass knocked down. Sharks back at full strength. Gudas the drive. Reached Niemi. He makes the save. And Mueller takes it. The 19-year-old defenseman. Away comes Alex Killorn. Batted away by Braun. Taken now by Callahan. Nice move. Cuts to the net. Goes forehand. Save Niemi. And he covers it up. What a spectacular save by Niemi. A great move by Callahan. Boy, Niemi, you forget, he won the Stanley Cup with the Blackhawks in 2010. Then they got into cap trouble. Couldn't sign him. Here's a steal. Thornton shoots. He scores. Red light on. The official indicates it's a goal. That rattled around the posts. And Joe Thornton on a giveaway scores the game-opening goal.
It will be an unassisted goal. Lightning had control of it. And take a look right here. They try to pass it out front right here. And they did, but they passed it right to Thornton. And it is a 1-0 Shark lead.
Kennedy hustles down the board, sends it toward Bishop, and he turned it away. Sluggish start for the Sharks the other night against the Panthers. And in fact, McClellan said here's a drive knocked down in a crowd of players. Garrison getting to it. Gets it to the point. Brewer looks toward the net. He'll fire, looks for a tip. And Morrow is tied up there by Hannon. Pass in for Boyle. And Boyle trying to jam and almost stopped. There's a try by Brown that's deflected away and picked up by the Sharks.
I think you have to do more of that. Play a little bit more in the offensive zone. Couture.
Fire. Saved by Bishop. And the rebound is taken away by Marleau. Bishop reaching down to cover it. Marleau's stick got there first. Off the glass. Johnson gets it back. Palat. Kucherov gets it. Turns. Fires. Niemi is saved. Johnson shoved on top of the goaltender. And a penalty upcoming. Directed toward the net. Poked to the corner by Hurdle. Taken by Strawman and held in by the Sharks. But they've excelled at holding pucks in the zone. Shot by Vlasic. A save by Bishop. Fired away by Strawman and out. Pavelski will slip back in. Across for Thornton. Thornton with a pass deflected, golfed away, or I should say fought away there by Garrison. Sharks still have it though. Couture with a shot, a save by Bishop. He had to reach around Marleau.
Very good shift right there for those penalty killers.
Pass ahead. Kennedy's alone. He scores. Tyler Kennedy fires it home as he got in behind the defense and makes it 2-0 San Jose.
10:38 will be the time. Watch the play coming right here. He had his skates. It looked like he was offside. He had his skates on the line, though. Timed it perfectly. The pass was perfect as well, and they find the 5-hole just as the penalty was over.
That expired one.
Everybody back, but they're all watching the puck carrier. Nobody watching anybody coming in later from the offside. And the puck carrier's ahead of you. You can't do anything about it. You got to pick up the loose guys.
They were put together in the third period of the game in Winnipeg back on that Western trip. And really exploded. They look for Winkles in front. Saved by Bishop. Shepard found him with a pass. Sharks have had a number of players in defense. Here comes Strawman. This started in. Niemi blocks it. Taken by Goodrow. He hands it away. Got over by Callahan. He gives it now to Filppula racing ahead. Killorn with him. Filppula trying to get the shot away. Couldn't. Now shoots. And it hit the post. Glove side of Niemi. Demers. Vlasic has Couture in the middle at center. Swings in. Fires. Turned aside by Bishop. Couture has it back. To the point, it's Braun. Winds and fires, and Hannon gets his stick free to play it. Tommy Wingles there. And backing up the play, Callahan shooting. Handled by Niemi. He's got time to cover it up with 2:10 to go. Third power play for San Jose. Speed it back around. Thornton in front to Pavelski. Off the post. Covered by Bishop. It's still loose. He jabs it away. Marleau fires over the crossbar. Bishop was down without his stick. Post helped out as well. Minute to go in the period. Marleau racing and shooting. Bishop a stop. Rebound played back to him. And he makes a stop on Marleau. And as they bid adieu to Dan Boyle and Brad Stewart off their defense, felt he needed to go back there. And he has been very strong offensively and has lugged them in and joins them as Cooper reunites that trio. Here's Wingles the other way. Wingles from the angle. Fires, saved by Bishop, and the rebound knocked down by Goodrow. Bishop covers the puck. John Cooper talking today about how he was going to defend against the Sharks. He says, well, we're a pretty fast team ourselves. Puck is centered in front just by Johnson's stick. Kucherov.
57, Tommy Wingles, driven it or tripping.
Garrison. Filppula in the corner. Here's a shot, a save by Niemi on the one-timer by Stamkos. Johnson retrieves the puck. Steps away from the front of the net. Backs right in again. Garrison. Back to Filppula. In front to Callahan. Shooting save. Niemi recovered and kicked it out. Bit recovered by Filppula. Now to Stamkos. Johnson fires in front. And Niemi, 2 saves on Callahan and close. Garrison behind the net. Burns comes up with it. And the Sharks get it out. Burns Fires across. Kucherov to Carl. He'll drive it. Deflects. Niemi a save. Drouin shoots. Save Niemi. It got behind him. Braun cleared it away. Kucherov had it taken away now by Couture. He'll feed it down the ice.
Once they get that first goal, it'll be interesting to see how that happens. It seems when you get that first one, everything else comes up.
They score! The shot by Schuster tipped in front of the net. And the Lightning do get the first goal. They're down 2-1.
Face-offs we talked about. And it was just a matter of getting the puck through. And there's Triple gets it there, and I think Stamkos is going to get it. Watch, Triple wins the face-off, gets it back, just a wrist shot. And there it is, it's tipped in front.
Unfriendly waters, it's Couture in the corner, fires it front. The shot is just set wide as Burns didn't get much on it. He'll fire again, it's tipped. Bishop the save there. Boy, Nieto got the forehand tip. It's Drouin. Works his way down the boards, and Carl now with a shot. Kept away from the net by Niemi. Drouin has it. Trying to lose Braun. Cuts in, fires off a skate. And Niemi, a great save off the rebound try by Johnson. Sure, the shot over the net. Comes off the glass to center. Nieto tagging up. He's got Couture cutting and shooting off the post. Sticks out of Bishop. He makes the save of the rebound try. Marleau followed up.
In the zone, it's been a lot of play in the middle of the ice.
Callahan racing through center. Arrives in that San Jose zone. He shoots a save by Niemi. Kicked out the right leg pad, and the Sharks will play it back down the ice.